Yo, what's up guys, Vex here, giving you some awesome engineer stuff. So today, we're going to be focusing on the basic tactics of an engineer mainly centered around PvP. As you know, every class in Wildstar can play two different roles. They are tank, healer, or DPS. Well, the engineer is one of those DPS tanks. The engineer is a short to medium range tanky motherfucker with robots and blasters and awesome armor, and get into that stuff later. If you haven't seen the dev speak, link in the description, but let's get right into some PvP tactics. So, initially we're going to be focusing on the engineer as a DPS class. DPSing as an engineer is quite different to DPSing from traditional methods, because you're gonna want to be all up in their space anyway. Even though you're a caster, you know, though you're meant to be hanging back and letting the tanks take aggro, you can still get in their face. The engineer has an average of 15 meters as their cast range. 15 meters is not a long way. It's definitely in range of the strong majority of gap closers, pulls, and CCs, so you're gonna take a lot of hits, you're gonna take a lot of damage, and there isn't that much to save you from that. But luckily you have your bots. Now, the primary bot you're gonna be using as a DPS is your artillery bot. Obviously you can use the CC bot to help yourself, but that's different. So the artillery bot is mainly going to help you from afar, and the tank bot is kind of not very necessary. You want to switch out that tank bot slot with a stronger DPS skill. You want to obviously be using a lot of skills that will build up your volatility and keeping you strong, keeping you high. You want to be right up in the enemy's face and blasting them down. Obviously, use things like Zap when you have the maximum volatility you can get, but if you're in an emergency situation, it's okay to waste that volatility that you're building. Basically, I'm sorry, that was a giant freezing star. I'm sorry, I got so distracted. Anyway, Exo Armor is also your innate. There are two modes to Exo Armor. You can put it in DPS mode or tank mode, so it will buff your different stats based on what mode you have it in. Remember to have it in DPS mode, of course, but you want to use that in critical situations where you think, I'm fucked. This can be anywhere. This is not to say you should use it when there are 4 guys wailing on your ass and you have no chance of escape. That is called a waste. Just because you're fucked, it doesn't mean you have to use it. If you're in a 1v1 situation with a stalker going hard against each other, then you use your Exo Armor and you blow his fucking face off, because that's your duty as an engineer. But if you're gonna get wrecked by a bunch of other people at the same time, you're getting pulled CCs, you're stunned, you have to break out, then there's no point. You're just gonna die and waste your innate, and that's another 2-minute cooldown that you have to wait through. That's the longest cooldown you'll ever have on a skill. So just beware of using that. But DPSing an engineer, as I said, is quite unique. You want to get all up in their face. You want to be all near them. You want to be saying, hey, you know, this is my fucking blaster. It's going to shred your face. How do you feel about this? And they'll be like, not good, I'm not gonna lie. And then that's when you fucking shove it up their ass. I'm sorry, I'm being so crude, but the point remains. The point is still there. You want to be, I cannot express this enough, it's close to medium range. You're not as close range as the medic, but at the same time, you're still beefy, you know, you're still in that heavy armor, you're still shredding people. So don't be afraid to jump right in the fray, and if you're one of those people who loves to DPS from close range, then the engineer is probably for you. It has awesome robots and all that stuff. But, alternatively, if you're planning on tanking, your limited action set should reflect this. So, while with DPS you want to have pretty much just your artillery bot, and then everything else is your DPS skills that build up and unleash volatility. You want to have a nice balance between the two. If you're tanking, you want to have your tank bot, your artillery bot, your CC bot. Like, maybe these are all, you know, different options, but you want to have basically all the bots available to you, and then you want to have a lot of CC. Your bar is going to be full of CC. Sure, you can have some damage abilities, but primary damage abilities are there to build up volatility. You know, they're not there to be killing people. That's not really your job. Your job is to help others. It's like you're a team player, you know? You're a fullback if you play rugby, you know? You're there, you're the back line. You're trying to make sure that no one gets through the fucking try line. Anyway, I'm getting way too British. So, yeah, you're going to be taking a lot of CC in your bar. You want to have a whole lot of CC loadouts. Now, this is not to say that you have to have a lot of CC, because generally limited action sets are built around you. They're your specific playstyle. You should really avoid cookie cutter builds that you find online, but that's different. They're built around you and how you play. So if you like having 4 of your 8 abilities being CC, that's good, that's strong. If you want all 8 of them, then that's not possible because there aren't that many. But anyway, I say anyway too much. I get distracted too much. I'm trying to focus. Okay, so that's pretty much the main thrust behind tanking as an engineer. You are obviously a ranged tank, and you're going to be using your bruiser bot a lot, so you have to be completely aware of its positioning as well as yours. This is something that very few people master quickly. You want to really focus on where your bot is and how it's operating and who it's taunting, because obviously you have to time the taunt to make sure that you get the interrupts and you proc the vulnerability so your team can really slash through them. Like, this is one of the most essential things that a whole lot of tanks forget, is that while your DPS isn't that high, when the enemy's vulnerable, anyone's DPS is high. Excuse me. So make sure you CC at the right time, you position right, and you keep an eye on your bots. Your loadout, as I say, should be about half and half CC, but still enough to build up that volatility. Your exo armor is there to make you a beast. This is the time when, if you are getting wailed on by 5 guys, you can do it. You can proc your exo armor, whereas DPS you should wait until like a critical 1v1 situation. You should probably proc it as soon as you can. Just take all the aggro, CC everybody, and hope that your team gets to you in time. If your team doesn't get to you in time, that's okay, because you stalled their time. You wasted their time. If you're playing, for example, Walatiki Temple, you wasted the opportunity that they had to take the Moody Mask back to their base or steal yours. There's a time limit to everything, okay? Everything. I've already talked about time limits in my Warrior video, go check that out, but I hope you enjoyed these very basic tactics for DPS and PvPing, and tanking in PvP. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. P.S. Sorry for all the crazy distractions, I'm really kind of wired right now. Bye!